Jamaican Chinese girl here. Don't forget I'm also Hakka. Born in Jamaica, never went anywhere else in the world that Hakka people migrated to. A daughter just drop a video on a better be nice. Come over here. Come and show them the video.
Hi guys, I'm her daughter and I just posted my video on YouTube. I went for an international brand trip to Sabah. My mom really likes the video, as you can see here.
I said, this is wild. I would not be doing this. You're crazy. Ay, no. Oh, look at your face. Look at that mom. Better go and watch it now. Don't make me come draping up.
Listen, don't catch me in the back. Delete that. And go in here recently, delete and delete it too. Alright. Listen, don't catch me in the back. Delete that. And go in here recently, delete and delete it too.
Shalom. I'd like to say our praises due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honor to Apostle of Great Millstone, peace and blessings to the elect. My name is Connor Walk from GMS Toronto, doing this lesson, and it's going to be regard to the Hakka people and the Han people, right, which were Israelites, and the Hakka people, they're Israelite foreigners, right, that was known as indentured labor, that went to the Caribbean, that went to Central America, South America, and many of them are Israelites, right? And it's a big diaspora, right? The Israelites are scattered all throughout the world, all right? And you can't look at the so-called, like, this is not a color thing, it's a nationality, right? Because the Israelites are scattered all throughout the world. When you read Deuteronomy 28 to 64, that we're gonna be scattered all throughout the world, right? That's what happened to our people, right? And many of our people, even Israelites, who follow who watch my videos, a lot of them are gonna be offended, right? But there are, many Israelites that are scattered, right? So that's why the scripture says to be peaceable with all men, right? Because it's not, it's not our job, right? The Lord and the angel is gonna do the sifting, right? Because there's many of our people. So Hosea 1:10, yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered, which it shall come to pass that in the place where it should sell to them, you were sold unto the nation. So the Israelites aren't going to be numbered, right? The Israelites are scattered because the Israelites has a lot of seed, had a lot of children, right? Through the Israelite man, right? Sleeping with these other nations, right? They're women, right? And a lot of our people are gonna look more Chinese, right? Or Japanese, and right? Because I remember when I was when I was in Jamaica on vacation for like 2 weeks, and my cousin, I went to my cousin's school for like a week or so. I was only 8, so like we were in a classroom, and then there was like a so-called black and Asian or Chinese and black girl. I don't know if she's Chinese or Japanese, but she's very you could tell that she was very foreign, right? And I was intrigued, right? And I gravitate toward her, cause my cousin, he was showing me around, around the school and stuff, and and this nice so-called black and Asian, or black and Chinese girl, very appealing, man. And that video that I just showed you guys is there's a lot of Jakes in Jamaica that are the so-called Chinese Mr. or they call them Mr. Chin, or Chin. Right? There are a lot of them that are there are many of them, that are Jake. Right? There are many out there also now. There's since the whole migration of the Moab, of these Chinese going to the Caribbean, South America, Central America, and setting up shop as well, right? Because here in Toronto, there's a lot of Chinese Jamaicans, right? That's basically that's been a part of the Chinese Jamaican community for a couple hundred years, since the 1800s, since they are known as indentured servants, right? And a lot of them are Jake, right? A lot of them are Israelites, right? So this is not a color thing, man, right? The Israelites are scattered. So I'm gonna let me play this quick. This is one sec, make it load. Yeah, so the Hakka people also referred to as Hakka people, or Hakka speaking Chinese, are a Han Chinese sub-ethnic group whose principal settlement and ancestral home are dispersed widely across the province of South China, right? So they're scattered, right? And the Han people, they were actually Israelites. This is off of Wikipedia, right? So the Hakka people, they're basically a part of the Han ethnic group, which were Israelites that were way before the Lord's time, right? Hundreds of years before the Lord's time, you had Israelites that had settlements all throughout Asia and China, right? They had the Shang Dynasty, the Tang Dynasty, the Han Dynasty, many different dynasties all throughout Asia, right? That Israelites were merchants, they were kings, right? And they were very influential. They are different. They are like different. There are like different. Sorry, I can't pronounce. They are differentiated. They are like differentiated from other Southern Han Chinese by their dispersed nature and tender to occupy like marine lands. The Chinese charter of Hakka literally means guest house, right? So there are many Jake that are a part of this ethnic group, and a lot of them are Jake, a lot of them are Israelites, right? And this is a thing that a lot of our people are don't want to accept, that this is not a black thing, right? The Israelites are scattered all throughout the world, man. All right, and when Yahushua comes, let's get it. Let's get Revelation 7. Sorry, so this is Revelation 7. So like this is after the elect is sealed, right? The 144,000 is sealed. Right, so Revelation 7:9, and after this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hand. Right? So, so this is the John the Revelator, all right? He asked the angel, he's like, he's like, John the Revelator asked the angel, he's like, who are these? Who are these people, right? Because the Israelites, are gonna look like these other nations, whether they're Chinese, whether they're Japanese, whether they are Indian, whether they are Arab, Persian, right? The Israelites are scattered, man. Whether they are Hamite looking, right? The Israelites are scattered, right? So when Yahweh comes, right, the angels is gonna separate the wheat from the tares and cry with a loud voice, saying, salvation to our power which sitteth upon the throne and unto the Lamb. Right? So the Israelites, man, are scattered, man. So let me go on Chat GPT. Yeah, cause even also, I don't know if I just said it again, but I'm gonna say it again. That the Chinese, there's a lot of Chinese so-called Japan. Sorry, there's a lot of I'm excited. There's a lot of Chinese, like Chinese Jamaicans that are in Toronto that have a lot of business, and they also have like a lot of grocery stores. They also have like a patty shop over Kensington, which is like a Chinese Jamaican run, and they also have one in Scarborough, right? And they speak patois and stuff, and they could speak patois, right? So you have to know how to because you might look at a so-called Gook or Moab, and a lot of them are Jake, right? There is many these Moabite that migrated, right, that are actually Moabites as well, right? So the Lord is going to separate the wheat from the chaff. So this is off of Chat GPT. Chinese Jamaican are small community with an outside footprint, quiet builder, sharp trader, family first people who help shape the modern Jamaica in a real and practical way. Right. The first Chinese migrants arrived in 1854, brought in as indentured workers after slavery ended. Plantation life was harsh and didn't suit them. Many left the field fast. It says many left the field fast and did what the Chinese migrants have done all through the world from generation. Right, so they set up a lot of shops. Right, they had a lot of business. So they opened shops, small groceries, dry goods stores, bakeries, corner by corner, parish by parish. By the early 1900s, Chinese Jamaican shopkeepers were a familiar sight across the rural town, right? And you could do your own research, right? When you go on this Chat GPT, the Chinese Jamaican. So the Hakka people, So the Hakka people of ChatGPT, it said the story of the Hakka people in Jamaica is a classic tale of rugged pioneers carved in the New World. Pretty much the same thing. So the Hakka are a distinct subgroup of the Han Chinese, historically known as the guest people because of the centuries of internal migration within China, right? So they were scattered, right, all throughout China, right? And that's why many years ago when I went to the Royal Ontario Museum, I went with Micah. He's not in the truth anymore, but we went and we took a lot of photos, and we did like a video, and there were a lot of artwork, right? And they had woolly hair, right? And you know, and basically it was like a good like exhibition, like when I went there. And they had a lot of good artifacts, and it was amazing, man. Right? So most Chinese Jamaican, especially before the 20th century, are Hakka between the 1854 and 1884. Nearly 5,000 Hakka arrived in Jamaica. Pretty much the same thing, but let's look at the Han people. So the Han Dynasty Negroes, right? So short answer, almost certain rare, but not impossible. And the solid evidence came later than the Han. Let's be clear, factual. Let's be clear and factual. First, the term Negro is also an old-fashioned label. Historians today would say people of African ancestry, which are not African. Language matters because of it. Because it keeps the focus on the real human. So the Han Dynasty from 2000 first. The Han Dynasty from 2006 from The Han Dynasty from 206 BC to 222 BC or Christ era. From 2000, sorry, from 206 BC to 222, sorry, from 220 Christ era. So Han China were not isolated. The Silk Road, right? There are I have a lot of information of the Jews that went to China and set up shops, right? And they were traders, and they were that doesn't mean that zero African ever reached China. It says trade routes stretch far, and goods pass through many hands, and a person could, if theory, travel those same chains, right? But so it says by the Tang Dynasty, 618 to 907 Christ era, centuries afterhand, the Chinese source describe dark-skinned people called the Kolanin. The people refer to and mix of Southern Asian, Southern East Asian, South Asian, and some people of African origin, especially via Indian the Indian Ocean trade. Arabs and Persian merchants were sailed between the East Africa and China by this time. African sailors, so there were merchants, servants, and traders are historically recorded in southern Chinese posts. Cities like Guangzhou, right? So there even right now, there's a lot of migration of Nigerians, a lot of West African people that went over there to China and that set up shops, right? So this is not a color thing, right? The Israelites, we are scattered all throughout the world, man. Right? I don't really see, but yeah, this is right here. No, this was us. This is Shanghai, right? A lot of them were, these very dark, right? This is in China as well. No, Chinese scientists provide original Chinese were African, or they're not African, they're Jake, that woolly hair, right? All right, let me get let me get a scripture and I will close. James, the book of James. James 1:1. James, a servant of Yahweh, and to the Lord Yahweh Shai, the Lord Yahweh Shai Mashiach, the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greeting. So this is the like one of the guys, apostles, right? Back when Paul, when he's on the scene, he had James. Sorry, not James. When this is it's like let me put in James. The time period. Yeah, so James was one of the disciples, right? And basically, he said, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad. So the Israelites, they're scattered all through the four corners of the globe, right? And they're gonna look like these other nations, man, right? There's a video I could show you. If I show you, 1 second. Yeah, you have Jake that are scattered, man. Like these are these Jake. I don't know if they're if it's to their father's side, right? But there's a lot of so-called Black and Asian, that are in Jamaica, or that are tourists, right? So when you look at this woman, you look at her, or you look at them, right? And because remember, the Lord said our heritage is unto him as a speckled beard. So the Israelites were scattered, man. All right, so let's play this.
これで私もジャマイカ人。
Yeah, I think they're Ammon, but they're Black and Asian, right? They have the Jake, they have the Israelite gene, right? And yeah.
Yeah, man. Wagwan, bombo cry.
You know the other one, Ross Clad?
No? What's that?
Pussy Clad?
Pussy cry, yeah, I know. Oh my god! もう悪い言葉を使ってはいけません、皆さん、ほんまに。ということで、可愛い子が言うと通じます、ボンボクラ。
Yeah, so Jake, Jake is scattered, man. And And these are the women, right? If Jake lies, if a Jake lies down with a Moabite or Ammonite and they have children, for the most part, a lot of them are gonna look more like their mother, and so through that generation later, right? Like they're gonna look totally like a Moabite. They're gonna look like a Chinese or Japanese or Thai or So, that's why when Yahushua comes, he's gonna gather the elect. So Isaiah 11 and 11. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which he shall leave. So, this is going to be the second Exodus, right? And the Lord's only coming for the 144,000, the 1/3. He's not coming for the whole nation, which shall be left by Assyria. So Assyria, that's in Iraq, and from Egypt, and from Pathros, and from Cush. So from where you Cushites are, you Ethiopians, you Eritreans, Somalian. There are Jake that are scattered amongst them, Ethiopian, and from Elam, right? So from India, Persia, and from Shinar, and from Hamath, and from all the islands of the sea, right? So this is gonna be a big Exodus, man. And he shall set up a ensign for the nation, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. This is what we're approaching, that time, right? That time is almost near, right? And that's what's gonna happen, man, right? And that's why we're trying to, the elect is gonna continue doing the work, right? And Yahushua, the angels, are gonna gather their elect, right? Because it's gonna be so bad, right? They're gonna be after when this World War III is gonna kick off. Martial law, the whole the RFID chip is gonna come. That's what the angels are. That's what Revelation said. It says, "Come out of her, my people, that you be not partakers of sin." So, we're approaching that time, man. We're very near. So with that, let us all praise the due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Kakwadash. Double honor this apostle, a great millstone. Peace and blessing to the elect. Shalom.